Welcome back, beautiful people. I'm super excited, and I say that about a lot of episodes, but specifically about today's episode 79. It is with a longtime footwear friend. We've known each other for a long, long time now, and I've seen your career transform in different stages as well. We have I'll say world-renowned Jeremy Sallee, who's really transformed the footwear design industry in a number of ways, from starting your own brand, working at different houses, to now owning Puma basketball. And what you've been able to create in your career has been really, really special. And I always appreciate watching from afar. And it's been fun to not only own some of your designs, but actually be proud of them. And I tell everybody the Freeman Platt shoes that I own are some of my favorite in the world. And I love what you've built over the years. So with all of that being said, how are you? Where are you? How you living, dude?
I'm great. I'm in Indianapolis, Indiana. Obviously, I work out of Boston. So a lot of not too long of a commute, but 38,000 feet up commutes. But yeah, I'm good, man. Wife and kid, just living the life.
Yeah. How much different is like life with a family, like with a child, with a wife, with, versus like your former years in design of just like, I don't know if you were wilding out or anything like that, but is it different? Is it much different? Is it not different?
I mean, I've been married for 10 years. So that's been the same pretty much my whole career. My son is new. He's 4. He's sort of new. He's wild right now. He's active. It's a balancing act, even more so now than it ever was, because of, the kid, and just like, not wanting to miss stuff and wanting to be around more, and, going down. Well, at this point I go downstairs, so that's nice. That's the best thing about the job at this point, is that he's right downstairs. If he starts acting up, I can go, put the hammer down there. But no, it's different, but it's good. It's good.
But it's different also because like you used to be like a New York City guy, and you used to, be the hustle and bustle of a city environment. And my understanding is you moved due to family life.
Yeah, we were in Brooklyn. Well, we were in Boston for 7 years, in Brooklyn for a couple of years. And COVID happened. And during COVID, we were in the house in Brooklyn for like 3 months straight, just in the house. I rode my bike every once in a while. But we didn't leave to go anywhere because people were like literally dying every day. It was crazy. Right in 2020. So we ended up buying a house without ever seeing it. And moved back home. And it actually worked out. No one's complaining at this point. But yeah, with the kid, it definitely, we got a duplex in New York, and we lived on the top floor, and he had just started walking right before we moved. So it was already getting to a point where it was like, he's going to piss some people off. We started to run up and down the hallway and act like wild man. But yeah, no, this is good. This has been good.
I'm happy to hear that. Yeah. And it sounds like it's working, right? Like, the remote work works. Obviously Puma's based in Boston, Germany, but your office is in Boston, and you still travel back and forth, and that seems to be working out for you.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's a dream job at this point, so I can't ask for anything better. Like a startup with money and and work remote. That's the dream.
So I know a little bit about this story, and I think you've shared this in not very often. I only think a handful of people know the story of like how you got the job at Puma. And I would love if you shared to the people, because it's such a cool story. Obviously it sucked with your injury, but like it is a very fascinating story for all creatives.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. My wife was 7 months pregnant. I'm an ex-basketball player, so, but when I got to New York, I didn't play as much as I did when I was in Boston. So I played for the second time that year, one night in, I don't even know, it was August. Went for a layup for the winning shot, and tore my Achilles. Which sucked for me because I was doing Freeman Platt, and I was working at Ralph Lauren, and super active in the middle of the city. Wife's pregnant. We're about to move into our new house. A lot of stuff going on. Terrible time. Had to be on my back for like a month straight, like on my back for a month straight. Terrible, terrible time. So to keep myself from getting super depressed, I started drawing basketball shoes just for fun, because I was the original shoe that I started to draw when I was 12, 11, and just drawing just for fun, not trying to get a new job or anything, just like drawing for fun and posting them on Instagram. And I decided I was going to do one a day just to keep me sane. And people start picking it up, blogs start picking it up, and people start calling from all the big companies. And then I chose Puma over the other two, mostly because they let me stay home. And the fact that it was like I like the startup thing, because I'm such a startup dude. There was a super small team. There's still only 2 footwear designers. We just got our first apprentice last week. So like, it was just like perfect situation for me. So it was a blessing in disguise for sure. It was a roundabout way to get there, but we got there.
Isn't that so crazy how, like, out of, also, like, I personally would have never guessed that tearing your Achilles, you're like on your back all the time. Like, I figured they just put you in a cast or something like that and you'd be super fine, and you just can't, you're immobile and you resort to drawing. Now, at the time you said you were at Ralph. So they didn't have an issue with you, or were you on like medical leave, or like, how did that work?
On medical leave. I don't even know what was at that point. I was off for 2 months basically. I think it's about 2 months. Yeah, about 2 months. And then I had paternity leave because my son was born.
Oh my God!
I got my walking boot off. So it was I had a bunch of free time, not free time, but like both of those leaves that worked out. So it made sense.
Did that like reinvigorate you, like in your career, being like poached and like people reaching out, like, obviously you're at a major fashion house of, Ralph is a huge brand, an amazing name, a staple in your resume. How did that feel kind of towards you? Because it's not like you were doing anything intentional. You're just kind of putting drawings out just for the sake of drawing. Yeah.
It was, Ralph, it's funny with Ralph, they call it Ralph Lauren University. You can Google it. It says Ralph Lauren University. And like all the big designers stay there for like 2 years and then they leave and go somewhere and do something else. So just Ralph got me to New York, which was great because I wanted to get to New York from Boston. So it got me into the city, got me into some better sales people for Freeman Platt and, better retailers and stuff for that at that point. And then, just drawing shoes, it was literally just keeping me sane from just being depressed and not being able to continue with Freeman Platt and walk around the city and like get ready for my kid to be here and like fix my house up and all that stuff. So I was literally just trying to stay sane. And then as stuff started picking up, then you had to do it every day just because, every day it was going to be more and more stuff. So I just kept doing it. I was like, and it was fun. We had some good stuff.
Yeah, I know. I remember it was like a wildfire. It was like everybody was picking up the sketches, and it's like it was rare because like obviously like the footwear design community on Instagram like always will reshare like cool shit and like do all that, but like for like major like publications to be picking it up, it was super unique.
Yeah, it was fun. It was an accidental thing, but it worked. It was a good time. Like yes. Full freedom of expression at that point. Whatever brand you want to draw, whatever shoe you want to do, like do whatever you want. It was good.
So I assume like going backwards a little bit, like why you started Freeman Platt was really all self-expression. And I know you started that when you were at Reebok back in the day, right?
Yep.
So like what still motivates you to do Freeman Platt today, and kind of how has that transformed over the past 10 or so years, however long Freeman Platt's been around?
Freeman Platt actually started at college. It was called the Duck Bill at that point, and it was more clothing based. And I did a fashion show, my senior fashion show, and I had done this bag that was like a 3-in-1 bag that was kind of dope. But anyway, I always wanted to have my whole major in university was I made my own curriculum. It was all based around having my own footwear or apparel business. So that was always in the back of my head that I knew that's what I wanted to do, like since I was younger. And I stayed at Reebok, made a name for myself, and got to a point where they couldn't say no. And then I was like, went and talked to the top people. Well, Todd's the CEO now. I went and talked to Todd, and I was like, I'm about to start this brand, but I'm going to do dress shoe hybrids, so it's not a conflict of interest. So that was the way to start it, you know. And I mean, the worst they can say is no, and you know, you might as well ask. There's not a lot of, you know, professional designers, footwear designers that have footwear companies, but you know, he didn't say no, and so I started up, and it was all based around like what I would wear to a business meeting at that point, and like, you know, I was trying to play the game of not infringing on, you know, what Reebok was doing and all this stuff. As it went along, it mattered less. Like, I think nowadays it matters way less than it did back then when I started. But at this point, at this juncture, I mean, we had pretty good success with that. It's been all over the world, Japan, London, all of South Africa, all over the world, retailers. We did good. It kind of fell off when I got hurt. And then I kind of let it go because my kid got here. So there's a whole priority shift of, you know, as soon as he popped out, it was like, oh, well, priorities change as soon as that happens. I just like, they tell you don't know until you got one. They were cool. You don't know until you get one. And then recently it was, when did I start Earl Grey? Earl Grey was during COVID because everybody was at home. The world was crazy. People wilding out, social unrest, you know, social justice stuff going on. And Earl Grey was like, it's based around everybody needs to calm down and everybody needs to relax. We can agree to disagree on things, but we should be cool with one another. We got to live with each other anyway, so we need to relax. So Earl Grey is a tea that I like, and my favorite tea. So that was the beginning of Earl Grey, and it started with me learning how to paint, which is what, I mean, you're painting a whole lot nowadays. But yeah, I did my first real painting. I was just like going to try and see if I could do it, and it came out good. And I was like, I could probably make something out of this, like, and have a good story, because all my stuff usually has a good story around it. And so yeah, it's all about everybody needs to calm down, relax, you know, have some tea, paint something, you know, stop yelling so much, all the stuff that, you know, be polite, you know, all the stuff that we could all take some advice on. And that's where Earl Grey. And now I just do like stuff that I like to wear, like hoodies, hats. It's based around my life. Like Freeman Platt was based around my life, like slightly. This is like all the way. Like I travel to Boston a lot, so I did a whole travel collection with a travel bag with all these things that are based on what I need on the plane at this time. My pants are based on traveling, so it's like it's super selfish. Like, but I know there's people out there that are like me, and I know me the most. So it's like, if you like it, you like it. If I can break even every collection, then I break even. That's all I'm trying to get to, so I can do it again. And that's what it is, man. That's what it is.
That's like super amazing. And that's what my interpretation was. I'm like, I think Jeremy just like builds this for himself, and like, it's cool shit. So other people like will obviously be, I mean, that's why like I was interested in Freeman Platt's original collections. I was like, no, I love this. Like, I love dress shoe styles, but like you put like this new vibe and aesthetic and this reflective piping and like all these like crazy things on it. And like the story of like, you sold the price of labor.
God sells all things at the price of labor.
Yeah, God sells all things at the price of labor. Like, I love that on the inside of the caps. Like, you have this amazing, you know, ability to storytell around these collections and these products. Is that purely always defined on like your mood and how you're feeling in the years as they go on? Like, will Freeman Platt always exist in a different type of collection depending on your life?
Well, probably. It'll be rare unless something like pops off, and you know, I gotta hit a commercial number that I'm trying to get to. It's one thing, but you know, at this point in my life, I'm chill. I do real estate stuff too, so like it's less about getting rich off Freeman Platt or Earl Grey. It's like more about, I'm a better doer than a speaker, so it's like I rather create something, or you know. At that point, I was playing basketball or whatever. I'm a better doer than I am at just talking to people. So I'm probably getting a little better now that I have to do all these interviews and stuff. But back then, it was like my gift was in my creativity and just working hard and learning new stuff. So
so not many people, like you just mentioned three major things that like you tackle all at the same time, and that's excluding your family and your child. But like, you have a full-time job, you have a part-time business, essentially. You do real estate, you have your family, you obviously have a life, I assume, outside of all of that. And what motivates you? Like, why are you like driven to do it? Why are you such a doer? Like, where does that come from? Like, not many people are built like that.
I mean, yeah. My family's sort of serial entrepreneurs. There's like funeral homes and mortgage broker companies, and some people sew. You got an aunt that made dolls. This is a bunch of, and this is on both sides of the family. So there's just like, I feel like there's a culmination of bloodlines that came through, and it's just like trying to be a more efficient version of whoever came before me, really. So, like I said, my parents have been divorced since I was one. So I've always had two sets of parents.
Oh my
And
God.
I've taken all the good things that they've taught over the years from both sets and try to get rid of all the bad stuff and, add it to my life and learn as much as I can. I think that's probably the biggest thing, is just learning from others' mistakes, or learning how to take the good stuff and decipher what you should take and what you shouldn't take. But yeah, I'm also very efficient. That's probably the biggest thing. I'm just with shoes. I'm blessed to be able to do shoes very fast. That is probably my biggest gift. Is shoes.
What do you think? What do you think? So like any creative or designer listening to this, right? Like they're going to want to know what's the secret sauce of Jeremy, right? Like what makes you efficient? What makes you fast at processing design or development or?
Dude, I have no idea. I did a whole lot of it growing up, and I didn't go to school for ID. So my process has always been different than everybody else's. So while everybody else had the full on gamut of the industrial design process, I had a graphics, fashion, business major where I had to create my own projects in the classes that sort of look like shoe classes, but it was just me by myself doing it. So I think that was the biggest thing. In the beginning, you think to get like an internship and get your foot in the door, it was probably a disadvantage. But once I got in, it was an advantage. And even when I got to Reebok, it was, I used to put a shoe up. I do a shoe a day, and I'll put it up on my wall when I was an apprentice. So I put it up on the wall, and everybody else, all the rest of the designers would hide their work. And every day I would just do a shoe and put it up on the wall, do a shoe, put it up on the wall. I wanted them to see everything I could do every day. And that was probably the biggest advantage of, it helped tremendously. Like Swizz Beatz walked by and saw the Kamikaze 3. That's why I became the Kamikaze 3, because he saw it on the wall. So it was like, it was just I think it's more just a different thought process. It's coming from a different perspective than the industry.
I didn't hear that story yet. That's awesome.
Yeah.
How long did you do that for every day?
I was an apprentice the apprenticeship was a year long, but I got hired in like 6 months. But I did it every day for probably the first 3 months. Just like, I just wanted a shoe out. Like that was my dream. My dream was to get a shoe out. So like, I didn't care what I had to do. I'd stay there. My wife was still in college, and so she wasn't my wife at that point. But she wasn't here yet. And so it wasn't nothing else to do but stay at work and draw shoes all day and put them up on the wall. Yeah.
Do you think obviously now you're in a position in your career where you interview, you hire, you have teams, you've managed people and seen the corporate structures in different capacities. I get this question all the time. People reach out in the DMs. They're like, can I get on a phone call? Like, I want to know. They're always looking for a shortcut. Every time. It's always, what can I do to get X, Y, and Z and faster? And my response is always, you got to put in the work, right? To me, it's very simple. And like, there's no shortcut around that. Mm-hmm. And do you see that, like, that is a pure example of like you literally grinding every single day and doing something completely different that nobody else wanted to do? Has that changed over your career? Or like, do you have any other advice to people, or like what?
I mean, I'm still drawing, trying to crush the competition as much. I'm not trying to be, towing the line of design. I want to go all the way. Like, I want to be polarizing the majority of the time. Especially with Puma Hoops, it's like a perfect fit because we want to be that brand that like is pushing the boundaries and pushing the limit and just trying to stand out, because it's hard to create a basketball brand out of nothing, out of thin air, basically. And what we've done in the 4.5 years that has been here, I've only been there for 3.5 years, but the 4.5 years that's been around has been pretty amazing. Shout out to the brand and everything, the money they put towards it, because you got to do it right or it doesn't work. Especially within basketball, because they can cut you off. Like, people don't like fake basketball brands. It just doesn't work like that. It's kind of like, yeah. So they did it right. Still drawing a lot. Still, yeah, it's just me and Jacob. Me and Jacob Garcia drawing shoes all day. I'm the head of apparel. Sorry, my son is screaming.
No, that's life.
That is life. But yeah, just I'm the head of apparel too. So we got a dope apparel team, dope graphic designers. Still building the team up. We're about to have a couple more graphic designers come on. Just trying to make a splash, man, make a wave.
So I saw, I think before this was recorded, you lean back. So you're wearing a Puma hoodie with a Rude collaboration. Is that out?
This is from like 2 years ago.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I also live in a bubble. I don't pay attention to what every brand drops, but like, I was like, oh, that looks super nice. So like, does that still like fuel a little bit of your fire too? The fact that you're able to do not only just footwear, but you have like a taste, like you can offer, your creativity in different avenues.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I don't get it twisted. I don't do much apparel. Like they do their thing. I'm just the head of. I'm just supervising more so over there than anything else. And it's a complete group effort. There's no I in this team. We're all getting it done. Shout out to Devin, Kirby, Megan, Stan, Jacob, Josh, and I hope probably missed somebody. I'm sorry, and the rest of the Puma squad. But yeah, it's a complete group effort, and we're just trying to. My whole thing is just to motivate and to get them to, push the boundaries and make stuff they want to wear. Like that's a big thing. That would be my one advice: is always make something you want to wear. Like that is probably my biggest point of emphasis with all designers that I work with. Is that would you wear that? Like I don't care if it's $80, $70.
Right.
Would you wear that? That's probably my number one thing. Even when I became the head of apparel, I sat down with everybody. I said, what would you wear that you've made so far? And when there was crickets, it was like, well, we got to change it because now we got to make stuff that we want to wear first.
Yeah, no shit. That's a problem.
That's what we're going to do. So that's what we've been doing. And I think it's working well.
That's amazing. Yeah, no, it sounds like since you've joined them, like it's been a vibe and you've been enjoying. Like, are you stoked to go to work every day? Like, are you? Oh, yeah.
For sure. Oh yeah, we got stuff to do. We're just getting started too. It's like young. We're still young, man. We got plenty of stuff to do.
That's amazing. You said the word motivate and immediately made like motivate popped in my head. And I know you've had the chance to work with, if not everybody's favorite rapper, they should be their favorite rapper, J.Cole. I needed to ask you like what that experience is like. Like I know you're like obviously like a little bit of a quieter person. Like you said, you're soft spoken, like you'd rather just do versus talk. But like, what's it like working with a celebrity like that?
He's dope. He's like regular people. That's why we get along because he's just like a regular dude. And he's like my age, so that shit's dope too. But no, he was super easy to work with. He's just a good dude, man. Like I've worked with a lot of celebrities, especially at Reebok. We work with a lot of people. He's just like a normal guy and that works hard and wants to he has like stories and messages he's trying to get across with Dreamer and all the Dreamer stuff. Like that's like right up my alley. So that was, that's why that worked out, man. It was I wish it would have lasted longer, but it was great while it was. I just hit him up the other couple of days ago when that song came out. But no, he's good people, man. He's good people. So
that's like, again, from afar, right? Like I can sense, I'm like, nah, these two like would absolutely crush together. Like they just like feel like they'd probably be on the same energy length and like, they just really hit it off. And it sounds like that's exactly what happened. And it sounds like you've built a relationship with him even outside of work.
Yeah, no, he's good. He's cool people, man. He's the dream of basketball. My brother plays professional basketball in Turkey this year. So basketball's in our blood and that was everybody's dream to go play professional basketball in the NBA. And the fact that he wanted to do it as an older individual and is still pushing towards that's just dope, man. You can't knock a dude for doing that. So it also sets an example it's just like me starting Earl Grey. It's like setting a good example and a good illustration of what we should be doing, how we should strive for our goals and dreams and whatnot like that. So
he's a real baller.
Oh yeah, he can hoop. Yeah, he can hoop.
That's sick.
Yeah.
I didn't know one of his dreams is to play ball
Oh, yeah,
professionally.
that was the whole point of him having a shoe was his
Oh, that's amazing.
was because he played in the NBA Africa League for like whatever that tournament was. And I think he played in Canada for a minute last year.
Hmm.
But he said he's still training. So, but yeah, I don't know.
That's amazing. What
I'm just down for the story, man. I love
that,
the story.
that's the continual theme of this conversation for sure. What you've done, I mean, you've done everything that any younger designer coming up would want to achieve in their careers. Like what haven't you done, if anything, that you want to do and accomplish?
In shoes, um, I just want to become the number one basketball brand. That's it. Like that's a lofty goal. So
Yeah.
I think if we can focus on that, that's all I want to do. I want to be the best, have the best basketball shoe every year. That's all.
Do you think you're close, or you think you're still got a lot of work to do?
We had a shoe too. Well, we had a couple shoes that have been top shoes every year since we started. So yeah, we're always in the conversation. It's just we just need to keep growing, and we're growing. So it's just a slow grind at this point. You know, the other brand across the water, Tinker Hatfield didn't start with everything. So
Yeah.
if we can be the next story like that, where we can grow it to be that much of a brand, that big of a thing, then all good, man. That's what we gonna do.
And outside of footwear?
Oh, outside of footwear, there's plenty to do. Yeah. Plenty of stuff to do outside of footwear. More real estate, more big concept projects within real estate for like startups and entrepreneurs and stuff and veterans. And, there's a bunch of stuff that, we're just trying to make the world a better place with product. That's like, I know it's terrible to say because we make shoes and stuff, but if I can put a message behind a shoe that can actually make a difference in some kid or anybody's life for real, then I'm helping at least in the way that I was blessed to have skills in. So that's all I'm trying to do is help out.
Where did your sense of goodness come from, right? Like you have this innate message of being better or growing and, calm down and like all these things of just like really just being a better human. Like where does that innately come from?
I mean, my family's definitely like that. Like everybody, both sides are like that. We're, whether it's in the church or, just being happy-go-lucky people that just want to help out. That's just what it is, man. It's just in me because of them. The big thing that happened, I read through the entire Bible and I'm not going to preach, but I read through the entire Bible and the biggest things that I got across was if we all just followed the 10 commandments and tried to live whether you believe in Jesus or not, if you live like dude, we all be straight if we just lived like that and follow the 10 commandments. Don't kill nobody, don't lie, don't steal stuff. It's basic things, right? We can get caught up in all the little granular stuff, but the easy stuff is just staring us in the face. If we could just do that and agree on those things, it'd be all right, man. I'm not it's pretty easy stuff. So that was probably a big thing that happened too. But it's always family's probably the biggest reason that is what it is.
Yeah. No, I mean, even take religion. It's like what they teach you in kindergarten and first grade, right? Like the legit rudimentary stuff.
Yeah. It's all basic stuff, man. It's all basic.
Doesn't matter. I couldn't agree more. And I do think if humanity just focused on those things, we'd probably be in a better place.
Yep.
What as 2023 just started, do you have anything you're super excited that's coming out, whether it's Puma related or Freeman Platt related or something else related, that you would like to share?
I can't share the Puma stuff, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm definitely excited about the Puma stuff. There's always going to be something new. There's plenty of stuff to do within Puma. With Freeman Platt and Earl Grey, we'll have another collection for Father's Day that I'm working on now, based around what me, my dad, and my son like to do. Or my dad, my stepdad too, actually. My father-in-law does some of this stuff too. Like to do in that collection. So once again, super personal, but it'll be dope. The painting is going to be dope when I'm done with it. And then I'm writing a book based around my son and his first day of school on Mars. So that has been going on for like 3 years, and I'm finally getting to a point where it's about to, I'll button it up by the fall, and I'll have some apparel to go with it that's in the book too. So that'll be the big thing is probably the book. The book's like the biggest thing. It'll be dope.
Wow. That is definitely some news.
Yeah, it'll be dope.
Have you shared that before with anybody?
No, I mean, outside of people that know me, I'm just constant.
That's awesome.
A lot of illustration. You wouldn't think it'd be so hard to illustrate a kid's book, but God bless all the people that do.
Are you self-publishing?
I don't know yet. Once it's done, like I don't have to. If somebody picks it up and they love it, like the more people that get it, the better for me. You know, it is what it is. So I'm not like completely against it or for self-publishing, but we'll see what happens once it's done. It'll be dope though. I just need to be dope and then have a good message, has some hype, not hype, I guess some sneaker culture hype beast stuff in it too, which is dope. So I'm trying to blend. I want it to be one of those things that, you know, the sneaker parents get their kids and they put it up on a wall or put it on their shelf with all the toys that I got over here. I want it to be one of those and a good book for the kids at the same time. Yeah,
of course. And it's going to be tied to apparel?
Well, he's wearing a hoodie and some socks in the book, and I'm going to bring those out in a couple hours, just as something to go with the book. So it's not just a kid's book. It'll be, and I did a toy too, actually, like a art toy, like a statue.
Yeah.
So I'll do those 4 things for the fall collection. Hopefully, as long as I finish this, it takes so long.
So I've definitely never shared this. So if anybody's actually listening 32 minutes into this interview, I've been writing a book also for the past couple of years, and I'm only like 30% done, but it's like a longer book. Like it is a grind for anybody who is trying to write. And I have no literature background, so it's a suck fest.
Yeah. It's hard, man. It's hard. Kids books are even hard. For me, kids books are harder because I'm talking to a kid and you have to keep their interest. So you can't get too serious, but the topics I'm talking about are sort of serious. It's like a fun way to talk about the serious topics. But yeah, it's good.
This sounds like an amazing and fun project for you, like on the side, of course, another thing that you throw in there. What's been your greatest accomplishment? Like out of all the things that you've done? Or what are you like most proud of? Like not even like take a compliment. Like what are you stoked like looking back on the past 10, 15 years, like that you're just like, that was super fucking cool?
Oh man, I don't know. Life is good. Proud of my siblings.
Okay.
I don't know. I could have been way worse. I'm kind of just happy and blessed that I am who I am. Could have been way worse with divorced parents and stuff like that doesn't go well all the time. It's nice to like, I am grounded. It's more personal stuff, man. It's probably less about this product stuff. Like we're selling shoes. It's all good, but life is good though. Life is good. But if I had to pick a product, I'm trying to think of what it would be. I don't know, man. I'm just happy. I've been doing one-do shoes since I was like I said, 11. So the fact that I'm doing it every day, getting to travel is nice.
Yeah.
When I walked into, my dad took me to the apprenticeship at Reebok. He dropped me off with my little brother, and we're walking with the HR chick, and he's like, "Can he work remote?" And I'm like 23. I'm like, "What are you talking about? Like, why are you even bringing that up? Stop being weird." And now to see it, I got a remote job pre-COVID to do all the things and be with my family at the same time. That's probably one of them. That's probably one of the biggest accomplishments.
Yeah,
it's more a blessing than anything. It's not even. I didn't do that, so I'm happy about it though.
Yeah, that's. I love your perspective, man. It's really fun and nice to hear that you just take product out of it. Like it doesn't. The products don't even matter. Like at the end of the day,
you should just have fun with it. Really, It's like we should be making stuff that we have fun with. And if you can make a difference, make a difference. But we are not rocket scientists or curing cancer. And I want more of those people, actually, to be honest. The biggest thing with footwear that I probably tell young kids that don't know anything about it is that you get to travel all over the world and see different perspectives that you would never get to see from Indiana. Like coming from Indiana, like we'll probably do some type of workshop during All-Star next year just because I need the message to get out that they can do this. Like people can do this from the Midwest. The travel opens minds up. If everybody traveled more across the United States, we would be in a better place too, because they would understand different people's perspectives. If they traveled outside the country, oh my God.
Even more so. Different cultures.
It would be nuts how harmonious we could get if we actually just like appreciated everybody else's way of living. So
yeah, I say that even
Vietnam. You've been to Vietnam.
Yeah,
going to Vietnam is a life-changing experience. I always say, first time I went, I was like, they didn't have much, but they were all happy. They felt like they were all happy, and they didn't need nothing.
They got a scooter in their life, and they good.
Yeah, that was what it was. And I was like, just like those perspectives, that if more people had those or could get a chance to see some stuff outside their bubble, it would be so much better. So
I 100% agree with you, dude. I got a couple more questions for you, and then we'll wrap it up, dude. But thank you just in advance for hanging out with us. And I've been asking a lot of people recently about flowers, and while people are alive, who has been astronomical for you in helping you along the way, being a North Star, a mentor, maybe just anybody who's giving you a different healthy perspective that you want to just give a shout out to?
Too many people for that. Just way too many people.
I mean, you rifled off your entire team earlier, but like,
I know. It's like too many, like, you know.
It could be a few. It doesn't have to be one person.
First guy that hired me was Ben Kukler. I think he works at Hasbro now. He's one of my favorite bosses. He let me live with him for a minute.
Wow.
Matt Heller, my favorite boss. Probably my favorite boss.
Where's Matt these days?
I think Matt's at Peloton now. He was at Peloton last.
Right, that's right.
Last Ralph, he went to Peloton. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, there's a lot of people, dude. I was going to do a post like this. I was going to do this thing. This is actually another idea that's coming out. But remember how I used to do Fail Fridays back in the day with like a shoe that didn't come out? I wanted to do like just like a shout out Friday or something like that, where I shout out these people that I'm talking about, or like just a different person, just to like tell people about them and tell them what they did for me and all that stuff. There's a lot, dude. Family obviously is number one.
Yeah.
You know, within the industry, there's lots of people too, but my family kept me confident and without being an asshole. Although I probably can act like an asshole sometimes, but an asshole.
I did this thing for a tiny stint called Flower Fridays, where I shouted people out on Instagram stories.
You just keep doing that. I'll do it.
I got to bring it back. I got to. Like,
we might have to do an Earl Grey collaboration and do Flower Fridays with Earl Grey.
Dude, we'll do a bunch of flower paintings. It'll be sick.
We'll all wear. I'll send you a bunch of Earl Grey stuff. You can wear that. We can just post with for Flower Fridays.
I'll do a number of walk talks with Flower Fridays. Let's get
it. I think it's a dope. I think we should do more of that. There's a lot of people, dude. There's a lot of people.
I mean, that's I completely like, since I know we talked during my Vibram days and your Ralph days, we talked a little bit, and Matt was there with you. And man, I haven't reached out to. I'm going to reach out to. This is enlightening me. I'm going to reach out to Matt and just see how he's doing. And I always liked him as well. So I'm glad you brought him up. Jeremy, like, I know how talented you are as a footwear designer, but hopefully people recognize how good of a human you are after this call and listening to your story. Where can people find you? Check out your story. If you do Fail Fridays, if you do Flower Fridays, whatever you do in the future, Freeman Platt, Earl Grey collections, buying houses, taking over the world, making babies, whatever you're going to do next, where can people check it out?
You can check all of those things out on Instagram. We've got two of those. Well, we probably got more than two of those actually, but Jeremy.Sallee is one handle, and then Freeman Platt. And then freemanplatt.com if you want to buy something. That's where the Earl Grey stuff and the Freeman Platt stuff is. Earl Grey is technically a collection, a Freeman Platt collection. But yeah, those are the two places. The rest of the stuff, we'll see where it ends up, but it'll be out there too sooner or later. The book will be on Earl Grey too, so it's a
okay, cool. So it's still under the same like capsule.
That's why I'm going to do the apparel stuff, because it's
yeah,
like, I could do another collection based off of what he's wearing, and it's not as weird of me doing a kid's book for an Earl Grey collection if I do. So
I love that, dude. Well, this has been episode 79. I'm stoked to chop it up again with you, dude. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Sure, man. Anytime.